Overwatch is the new first-person shooter from Blizzard. It's set for release on May 24th, but recently an open beta test was held. This gave Blizzard the chance to test their servers before launch, and allowed people like me to finally shed that dreaded only watch feeling. There is a ton of hype surrounding this thing, from big budget animated short films, all the way down to simple word of mouth. People all over the internet have been going nuts about it. With all of this hype, it can't possibly live up to expectations, right? Well, I'm glad to say that it absolutely does. Overwatch is incredibly fun to play, especially with friends. If you're not up to speed, Overwatch is a multiplayer shooter with an emphasis on teamwork. 2 teams of 6 players face off in modes where they either push to control a point and/or move a payload, or they try and prevent the other team from doing so. Every player picks from a cast of 21 heroes that are separated into 4 classes: attack, defense, tank, and support. Like I said before, Overwatch has an emphasis on teamwork and team composition. As your team selects their heroes, there will be some tips over to the side trying to help you build the perfect team. Ideally, you want a mix of all 4 of the classes. The best lineups I've seen used 4 slots for a mix of attack and defense, then filling it out with a support and a tank. Of course, there are tons of different combinations that make a viable team. A team with 2 supports or 2 tanks will work fairly well with their ability to stay alive longer. And also, if you want, you can just roll with 6 bastions, and no one's gonna stop you. You probably won't do so well against an experienced team, but you can still do it. One of my favorite things about Overwatch is the fact that it's based on teamwork, and how there's such a difference between a team that coordinates and one that doesn't. When I'm on a team that instantly gels, even without saying a single word to each other, we can see that victory screen within about 5 minutes. And I've been on the other side of that situation too. A lot of it comes down to just how well each player knows their characters and that character's role within the team. Thankfully, most people I played with seem to know what they should be doing. Rounds are relatively short, in my experience lasting around 10 minutes at the most. Each round starts with either one or both teams confined in their spawn point for a short time before they release. When that timer hits 0, it's like a powder keg going off. People come flying out of there, just foaming at the mouth to get to that objective or payload. There are tracers blinking around, Pharahs flying through the air, Torbjorns building turrets, and all kinds of madness going on all over the place. You really have to be on your toes at all times. You never know when a Widowmaker might have you in her sights. As you play, you'll gain XP and level up. Each time you level up, you unlock a loot box, full of cosmetic items for your heroes and your profile. Things like skins, voice lines, sprays, and emotes. It's a nice little reward for putting in time with the game, and it's an added incentive to keep playing. From a visual standpoint, Overwatch looks amazing. It has a great visual style to it that really makes it stand out. There's a huge variety in the character design, and each of the characters are unique. It's very easy to make out exactly who is shooting at you, even if you only see them for a split second. I played the beta on both PC and PS4 because I wanted to see if there was any major visual difference between playing the game on low settings, which is the best my laptop can really do, and playing on higher settings that my PS4 would be able to handle. This is a side-by-side comparison of the two. Obviously, on lower settings, things like shadows and textures aren't going to be as clearly defined. I personally don't think it looks that bad, even on the low settings. The art style is so strong that it makes the game look great on pretty much any setup. Performance-wise, both versions are solid, they both run at a steady frame rate. On PC, lag was virtually non-existent, but I can't say the same for the PS4. That version was suffering from occasional lag spikes that were bouncing my character all over the map, which was incredibly frustrating when playing as someone like Widowmaker, who really requires precision. I haven't been a big fan of multiplayer shooters since about the time Halo 2 was out. I played a fair share of Team Fortress 2, but I could never really get into it. There's just something about Overwatch though. It could be the characters, the crazy moment-to-moment gameplay, whatever it is, it has me completely hooked and always in the mood for more. It's been over a week since the beta ended, and to say I've had Overwatch on the brain is quite an understatement. I've had the soundtrack playing, I've been watching other people's replays, I've been making dumb jokes on Twitter, whole 9 yards. For plenty of players, myself included, the 24th cannot come soon enough. I poured roughly 20 hours into the open beta, and I'm gonna pour countless more into the full game. If you are at all interested in Overwatch, please do not hesitate to pick it up. After all, the world could always use more heroes. Well, that was kinda cheesy, but I think I nailed it.